The largest river in West Asia is the Euphrates. It starts in Turkey, flows via Syria and Iraq, and meets the Tigress River in Château Arab. The Euphrates River and Tigers were both very vital to the inhabitants of Mesopotamia. The 1990 census shows how flood control projects on the Euphrates have changed things. When people built dams, the Euphrates let out more water, which changed its path in a big way. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we'll look at something scary that was found in the Euphrates. So make sure to watch till the end. Let's begin. This is due to both global warming and climate change, both of which are to blame. The changing of the seasons is occurring on every continent of the world at increasingly erratic intervals. Temperatures have risen across practically the entire country, with the exception of a few localized areas where they have largely remained unchanged. This is in contrast to the majority of the country, where temperatures have continued to rise. The rise in temperature was felt most strongly in Iraq and the countries that are located close to its east and west. Because of the rise in temperature, there is currently an indefinite drought across the nation, which has had a significant influence on the lives of those who were previously reliant on the standard water supply. As a direct consequence of climate change, shortages are being felt over the entirety of the nation. As a result of the drought that has been going on for the past few years, the river has started to recede, which has allowed numerous ancient treasures to become exposed. This has led to an increase in the number of people who have visited the area. Because of the drought, some historical digs that had been buried for a significant amount of time have been brought to the surface. These sites had previously been immersed in water. Even though the locals were aware of these spots, they did not make any effort to investigate them, despite the fact that they were aware of them. Archaeologists now have access to a newly undiscovered realm of options and possibilities as a result of the discovery of these sites. Anbar is one of these locations. For a very long time, people believed that it was deserted, and it has been the scene of a significant number of archaeological discoveries. Once the water level receded, the historical artifacts were able to make their way back to the surface. This location was not considered significant in the past, but it has now been elevated to the status of one of the most significant historical sites in Iraq. There have been excavations carried out at several of the sites in Iraq and Syria. The construction of these towns spans the period from 3000 BC until the time of the Romans. As a result of the water level dropping, archaeologists are now able to revisit these sites as they are once again accessible to them. Even if the water has caused damage to these locations, it's possible that they still serve an important purpose. Because of this, it is more challenging for them to complete their work. This was an unexpected discovery, and the location may include valuable items such as jewelry, coins, crucial documents, and so on. These are the kinds of things that experienced thieves search for. They have the potential to generate a significant amount of money through the sale of archaeological relics. One additional challenge is preventing people from stealing from the location. The drought caused the majority of the people who worked along the Euphrates to be laid off from their employment. Due to the fact that the city was covered by water for such a sizable amount of its past, there were no archaeological excavations carried out in that particular region. The entire time period, beginning in 1550 BC and ending in 1350 BC, was ruled over by the Mitanni Empire. This well-known archaeological site is home to a palace in addition to several other important buildings on the premises. Because the city appeared out of nowhere, it is necessary for archaeologists to carry out excavations at the site. Due to the huge size of the metropolis, only small areas of it are mined at any given moment. If the materials are allowed to remain wet for a lengthy amount of time, they may deteriorate over time, which may result in the loss of essential information regarding the location. If this occurs, the situation may need to be rectified. The researchers were successful in drawing a map of the city that encompassed its totality in a time frame that was considered to be relatively short. Over the same brief period of time, the organization of the rescue excavation took place. They were able to identify the most important parts of the city with the assistance of the mapping, which enabled them to collect data and record things. As a result of this, they were able to record things and uncover the most important parts of the city. The mapping uncovered a large number of additional notable structures in addition to the palace. Structures that could be found there included monuments, towers, storage buildings, buildings with 2 levels, and industries. Some of the buildings even had more than 2 stories. Each one of these landforms has a solid wall that was built all the way around the edge of its boundary. The territory of Mesopotamia that lay to the north was under the dominion of the Mitanni Empire. According to the findings of the specialists, the most astounding aspect was the amazing state of preservation of the walls and pipes. The age of these walls is estimated to be around 3,500 years, and they were built using mud and bricks that were created from sun-dried mud. These have been underwater for decades, but have managed to keep their upright orientations throughout that time. Even if they are made out of a very delicate material, their fragility cannot be mitigated by this fact because they are nonetheless fragile. Even after such a long period of time has passed, the clay pots have not been moved from the spot where they were initially placed. The earthquake did not cause anything to shift, and as a result, everything is still in the same spot as before. Due to the earthquake, the top half was able to separate, which resulted in it covering the walls and containers that were holding it in place. Tablets were also present, some of which featured written information on the surface. The protection that was offered by the use of 5 ceramic plates was enough. The widespread belief that the pills are covered in letters and messages is a common myth. It's possible that this will turn out to be an important discovery that sheds a lot of light on how people lived in the past. If so, it would be extremely cool. The ancient city of Zikiku once stood here, and it was named after the nearby mountain. To this day, archaeologists are unable to provide an accurate prediction regarding when the water level will once again begin to increase. The most important pieces of information were found in the palace that was found at the site. Those who lived in that part of the Kurdistan region of Iraq constructed the court on the east bank of the river, which is on the other side of the river from where they lived. It is believed that the remains will provide more information regarding the political climate, economic conditions, and historical context of the Mitanni Empire. A great number of people are of the opinion that the particular archaeological find at hand is simultaneously the most fascinating and important one that has ever been made. It's conceivable that the palace was situated around 20 meters away from the river and had a peculiar shape that looked out over the valley. The Mitanni Empire was highly advanced for its time, as evidenced by the fact that the walls and flooring of the palace were both constructed out of slabs. There were also some paintings on the wall in red and blue, which served as evidence that murals and paintings were commonly used throughout that historical period. The outcomes of the investigation led the researchers to the conclusion that the important and distinctive structures were painted to signify who was in power during that time period. Scientists are worried about the Euphrates River since it was once the largest river in West Asia, but is now drying up at an alarming rate. This has caused a lot of concern within the scientific community. The level of the water has been gradually dropping over the course of a good number of years now. Well, we hope that you enjoyed seeing today's video. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below, and if you'd like to see more videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll be right back with another entertaining video very soon.